Hi, welcome to yet another episode of Spill It. Today is beautiful, today is productive, today is progressive. Interestingly, we have one of the strongest voices rising from Anambra State as it concerns politics. He's one man who has carved a niche for himself in the political system, not just in Anambra State, even beyond. And I count it a rare privilege to have him around. He's we like to call him Oyi of Oyi. He's he's a very simple person, but he's big. When I come back from this short break, I'm going to introduce our noble guest to you. Don't go nowhere. Tell somebody to tell somebody that a big masquerade is around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. In case you're just joining us, I was telling you that we have a very big masquerade in the building. He is Oyi of Omore. If you are very conversant with Igbo extraction, particularly Anambra State, will understand the strength of the Omore clan. Should I say clan or community or people? I don't know, but they are big in Igbo extraction, particularly in Anambra State. Oyi, welcome to the program.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having me.
doing us the honor. We count it an honor.
Thank you.
You may want to know Oyi is the media assistant to the office of the SGF, Secretary to the Government of the Federation in Abuja. That's why he flew in yesterday. He's also the strategic media advisor to Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, the APC global candidate for Anambra 2025 election. He is also an honorary doctorate degree awardee on human resource management by the College of Oil and Gas Exploration Technology of Nigeria. Powerful, powerful. And he's also a member of the Institute of Public Relations. Right. Thank you for coming around, sir.
Thank you, Arinze. Thank you for having me.
We
Good
will
evening,
just
viewers.
thank you. We'll be doing a survey of the politics in Anambra State, and as a matter of fact, I know that's also part of the reasons you flew in because of the weight of 2025 and also the office as it concerns Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu. Let's start with your evaluation of the Anambra political space so far. What would you have to say about it?
Yeah. First of all, the temperature of Anambra political space is already getting charged. Charged in the sense that all the political parties, the major political parties in Anambra State have conducted their primaries. APC, APGA, Labour, PDP, YPP, and the rest of them. These are the 5 major parties that are participating in this election. All of them have held their primaries, and candidates for the Guba elections emerged, including their running mates. In APGA, we have Professor Charles Soludo, who is running for a second term, the sitting governor. In APC, my own party, we have Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, Igukoma Anambra, the incoming governor of Anambra State. In YPP, we have Support Chupuma. PDP, I can't remember the candidate's name because I don't think they're in the race. Labour Party, I don't know whether it's George Moralo or the other man. I think they have 2 or 3 factions.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you look at the atmosphere, like you rightly asked, it is already charged, getting charged, waiting for the real time when the campaign will start. You know, if you go by next campaign calendar, campaign will start in the 2nd week of July. So for now, what people are doing or what candidates or political parties are doing is a mere sensitization, mere awareness creation at the social media and beyond. If it is a sitting person, he goes about showing what he's doing. If he has not achieved anything, then he goes about making noise like we are seeing in Anambra today. So the atmosphere, like I told you, is already getting charged, waiting for the real time when INEC will say, on your marks, ready, go, be set. And that is July 2025. The election is slated for November 8, 2025. And these candidates I have mentioned will slug it out. In fact, let me just tell you conclusively, it is a 2-way race, a 2-horse race between APC and APGA. Others are just onwatchers. onlookers, observers.
Don't you think that's a very strong, audacious statement to make? You may not know how those guys are already preparing quietly too.
It is not. It is not a costly statement to make because I am one person who is well grounded in the politics of Anambra State.
Exactly.
I have been a legislative aide to a member of State House of Assembly, Honorable Valaika. I've been a legislative aide to someone who was at the Federal House, Honorable Okoye. I've been a legislative aide to Senator Victor May, legislative aide to Senator Ifeanyi Oba, aide to Senator Uche Ekwunife. I've seen it all in Anambra politics.
Across all board.
Across all board. I've been a member of YPP, a member of APGA, now APC. I was even a member of PDP. PDP was my first political party when Peter Obi was governor. So I've seen it all in 4 political parties. So I am one person who can tell you the Anambra political system with all the authority and with all the audacity in it. And what I can tell you that this election is a 2-race election, 2-horse election, in the sense that it is only APC and APGA that are in the race running. Even though officially we have they may even reach 20. When INEC brought out their list, I saw some NP something and parties that I didn't even know they were existing having candidates for the election. So are those people going to run for
maybe
which
they're
election?
making biddings for something.
They not them sabio, but I'm telling you the truth, it is a 2-way race.
Before we get into Anambra system proper, how smooth and democratic do you think it's been with respect to Anambra political space, and as we gear up for the November 2025 gubernatorial election in Anambra State? I see a number of campaign of calumny on Facebook, on social media and stuff. So what would you say about our democracy and how smooth it's been in our political space?
Our democracy is still intact. Very, very much intact, in the sense that Anambra is a special state. Especially that any time there is a political era or electioneering period, it is always a charged atmosphere where you go on social media, you see people throwing banters that are not from heart. Like this morning, there was somebody on my social media that we used almost an hour throwing banters at each other. Meanwhile, that same person just called me like 30 minutes before I came to this studio and we were talking business. That is Anambra politics for you. We don't take it to heart. If you go to Imo, Abia, nearby states, or even Rivers, you see them taking it to heart. They go about even fighting themselves physically on the road. It doesn't happen in Anambra. An APC man, APGA man, PDP man, YPP man, Labour Party man will yab themselves on the social media, still find themselves at Abakaleke Street in Oka. In the night of that day, they yabbed in the morning.
And they're hanging out together.
Yeah, that is Anambra for you. So we don't take it to heart.
This justifies a post I saw you make that was yesterday or thereabout with the special advisor to the incumbent governor of Anambra State, Dr. Nelson Omena. And you actually pointed this out, that irrespective of party differences does not affect relationship. And one other person that I saw that wrote about that was Mr. Bernard, I've forgotten his name. Yeah, that spoke about they went to Obi Kubana's birthday celebration, and every party, irrespective of which party it is, they all gathered as Anambrians and they were having fun. It's quite a beautiful one, though. Let's advance a little bit. How would you rate Anambra at the moment with respect to the sitting governor, with respect to what has been happening? Would you say it's been fair, it's been productive, it's been progressive? You coming from the All Progressives Congress, and they also allege that they are, APGA, they talked about them also being of the Progressives clan. So what's the nucleus of that statement, and how would you rate governance so far in Anambra State?
First of all, let me start from the last one. APGA claiming to be a member of the Progressive clan, being that the APC, like their governor, said when our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, visited Anambra on May 8th, the governor said that APGA is a member of the larger Progressive, which Tinubu is the leader, him, Soludo, being the deputy leader. That was what the governor said. In other words, Soludo, our governor, is claiming that they have a marriage, political marriage, with my party, the APC. If the governor is doing well or has done well as our governor in the last 3 years and 2 months, he wouldn't be rushing to APC leader, our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to have a marriage with him in order to help him win an election if he has done well. It shows that the governor has performed abysmally, as in totally, he has shown that leadership, as far as a professor is concerned, no other professor will be allowed to rule Anambra State again. That is what he has just shown.
It means he has
in the
done very
sense,
poorly.
yes, in the sense that his administration has shown poor leadership in health sector, poor leadership in road infrastructure. I will explain all these things in details. Poor leadership in security, poor leadership in education, poor leadership, more importantly, in industries. These are, or even in power sector, cease. Now let me take them one after the other. Road infrastructure. All the roads purported to have been built by Governor Soludo are already washing away. Just 2 rains in this rainy season. Most of those roads have started washing away. They are on the social media. Go and you will see roads that are already being constructed. Take, for instance, the Agolo Pulobia Nanka Road, Agolo Nanka Pulobia Road, yes, that is still under construction. Go there, you will see potholes, areas where that has already been tarred, already dilapidated. That means he's not using good contractors to embark on those road construction or rehabilitation. That is number one. Number two, the governor has not completed up to 200 kilometers of road since the last 3 years in office. If he has done that, the president, when he visited Anambra, should have commissioned at least 10 of those roads. But Tinubu didn't commission any road. Neither did Tinubu commission any bridge. Neither did Tinubu commission any industry. Rather, Tinubu commissioned a residential house of a governor. Tinubu commissioned Janglova, where our children go and play. And the third one was the Emeka for Center at Unity, which was not an Anambra project. That was a project done by Emeka Anyoko, donated to Nanasko University. These are 3 things that brought Mr. President to Anambra State. And when you look at it, you see that those Janglova and that government house are not of any economic value. No, this is not a laughable matter. Yeah, it's a Janglova. Janglova in the sense that it is a playground for our children. And this is something that an individual can build. You yourself can build it. Me, myself can build it. We have Anambrarians who are doing well in the private sector, who you can create just an enabling environment for them, attract them, they come and set up such things. Manage it, because government cannot even manage such things. Before you know it, everything in that place will start collapsing. That is the type of governor we have. So if Soludo has done well in the last 3 years, Tinubu would have even slept in Anambra 2 days, because there would be quantum of projects for him to commission. But Tinubu has broken a record. In fact, Soludo has broken a record to be the first governor to have invited the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to his state, and the president said just 3 hours. This is the shortest presidential visit in history of sub-Saharan Africa. Shortest presidential visit. Go and check the record. There has never been a place where our president, whether Goodluck, Yaradua, Obasanjo, even in the military ones in time past, where they have gone for state visit and they stayed for 3 hours. It is 3 hours because the other 2 hours, he stayed just 4 hours in Anambra. Sorry, the other 1 hour was the period he used in flying to those venues where he commissioned the road. The other 3 hours was the fanfare. One at Unizik, one at Janglova site, and one at the governor's residential area. Those are not projects that are of economic value. So since they are not projects of economic value, why would the governor invite the president, use Anambra's resources, scarce resources to invite him? Meanwhile, he should have invited the president to come and commission industries, which is what Nicholas Okachukwu has promised in Anambra, that he will make Anambra State an industrial hub, where he will turn our forest into industrial hub, create an enabling environment, tackling security, ravaging Anambra State, so that at the end of the day, those private sectors, individuals, Anambrarians who are doing well outside, and even non-Anambrarians can see the enabling environment, the enabling security that he has tackled, and now be able to come and invest, create industries. Our children will have jobs. Our children will find a place where they will earn a decent living. Our children will be comfortable. They will no longer be thinking of living in Anambra State in exodus, in mass exodus, because there is no place to stay, because Anambra is no longer secured. Look at the Agune Chamber security outfit that he brought to tackle insecurity in Anambra State. Those people have become a total failure. Total failure in the sense that, because we are talking about his administration in the last 3 years. That's what I'm saying here. Exactly. Those people who are in charge of that security outfit have made Anambra State to become a bad light among Committee of Nations, in the sense that they will claim to be securing us in the day, in the evening they talk to people who collect money from drivers, commuters. This is not the type of people you should bring to secure Anambra State. Anambra State should be in the first grade state. When Peter Obi was governor, unfortunately, Peter Obi was Abga governor. But unfortunately, the current Abga governor is not living up to expectation. Anambrarians had high hopes on Soludo, being that he was a former economic advisor to the president, former CBN governor, with that high hopes, that height, he was. We were expecting that when he becomes the governor, he will do well. But unfortunately, Soludo has betrayed all those having professorship attached to their names. Soludo has betrayed all those having economists attached to their name. He has betrayed all those having former CBN governorship attached to their names. Soludo became a one-time CBN governor. And because of his poor performance as governor, he will become a one-time Anambra governor.
I told you that it's going to be a very heated session with Dr. Francis. As a matter of fact, you heard it from him that he's one man who has very wide experience when it comes to politics in Anambra State, and I can categorically say even beyond Anambra State as it is now. While we make advance, let me ask, is there a fuse presently now with regards to Anambra race for 2025? It seems to be a fuse. Somebody alleged that you are the only notable force known propelling the gospel of your principal. How true is that? I see a few persons also doing some notable things, but some said that that propels your principal, Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, it's you. How formidable, irrespective of his strength, what modalities are being put in place to ensure that as it is, that it was said that the president said to him, go get me Anambra State to achieve that request or purpose, as the case may be.
If actually your claim is right,
Not
I don't
my
think
claim.
Whoever is purporting it, I don't think Okachukwu would have emerged our candidate if that claim was right, that I am the only notable voice campaigning or projecting Okachukwu for governor. I don't think that claim is right. Not even an iota of it is a truism.
Okay.
Because we have a litany of people projecting Okachukwu, not just at the media. You are calling me media assistant to Okachukwu. I'm not only good at media. If you come to grassroots politics, I've run for State House of Assembly in my constituency of Njikoka 1 and came second with YPP. So if I could go to that level with YPP, that means I'm equally on ground in my community.
Exactly.
If I have been a former, it's in my CV that I sent to you earlier on. I've been a former secretary of my community, pioneer youth chairman in my village, pioneer. In fact, I was the longest serving secretary of Ire community in Enugu, longest serving secretary that stayed in office for 12 years. And no other person will in life break that record. Why did I say so? Because I was caretaker secretary for 6 years, and they elected 4 years, and elected another 4 years. No other person will break such record. The highest you could go is 8 years, which is 2 terms of 4 years. So having broken that record of being the longest secretary of my community, that means I'm on the grassroots. Because when we know in Igbo that election.
Exactly.
If you want to know how popular you are, go and run for either village chairman, village secretary, or treasurer. It is there that your people will tell you who you are. If you can be able to win an election in your community, that means you are well grounded. So if I have run election in my community, became community secretary, community chairman, community youth leader, and everything that is about to do with leadership at the grassroots, then that means I'm on ground, not only on the media. So you saying, or those people are alleging that Okachukwu has Oyumuri as the only vocal voice speaking for him on the media is a lie. I wouldn't want to start mentioning the names here. People know the truth. Let them not hide the truth and give glory to whom glory is not due. I can't take that glory because it doesn't only belong to me, because we have many of them doing the work for Okachukwu on the media. Maybe it's because Oyi is somebody who adds violence to whatever he does. Why I say violence is that you can't torpedo me in the media. Media, not physical. I can tell you anything. Only one boy after the other, they say, Oyi, the way you reply sometimes in your post, the did is too aggressive. You don't behave like a leader. I say I'm not a leader. I'm an activist. Thank you.
We are going to really have an interesting session. Before we go on break, let me ask you this. I was talking to somebody who I knew should I say, worked with you under you during the time of our great son and philanthropist and politician, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi. Now, after his demise, as painful as it is, many of your colleagues and boys, if I would use that word, fell off. And I know a few who now speak against APC, understanding the fact that the late senator also transited to APC, and these same persons were known to be clamoring and trumpeting for him. What changed? Is it a politics of interest where belief is, or was it for the fact that it was just a fan number, or what can you, I know you still know some of them.
First of all, let me use this opportunity to ask God Almighty to please allow Senator Ifeanyi to come to heaven, because this is a man who embodied all we call politics of humanity. He's one man whose politics is all about humanity. If humanity is not in his politics, he doesn't do politics. He was an Iroko. In fact, I hardly use words. This is the first time I'm using words. I hardly use words on that man. I hardly use late on that man, because I still see him living even in me, in many others. Ifeanyi is an Iroko. Ifeanyi is a man who came, he saw, he conquered, even at 52. May his soul continue to requiescat in peace. Now, let me respond to what you just asked. See, some of these people left Ifeanyi WhatsApp platform the day he died. We were in the same WhatsApp platform. Some of them left the day he died. I don't want to mention one particular guy. That very guy, the thing pained me. Immediately Ifeanyi death was announced on our WhatsApp platform. It didn't reach 3 hours, this guy left. The next thing I started hearing, he has joined one of the people that ran governorship with my boss in this past governorship, APC governorship primaries. Why I say that is for you to see the kind of people we have in this world. So for somebody to have left Ifeanyi's camp the day Ifeanyi died, what does he show? He shows ingratitude. He shows inconsistency. See, I am one person, if you have been following me on social media, I preach gratitude. If there is no other word that I don't use every day on my timeline or every 2 days, it is gratitude. The second one, grace. The third one, consistency. So these people are people of inconsistent characters, people who wear belly faith, they follow. That is just the truth. If it is not so, I wouldn't see any reason why somebody will leave a WhatsApp platform of his boss the very day his boss died. Not that he left it maybe in trying to show that the thing pained him, but the next 24 hours, you saw him in another candidate aspirant platform. So that means it's not all about the Ifeanyi's death. Maybe that he didn't bear the shock again, but it's because he wants to now follow another leader. See, I'm on the Ifeanyi from July 26 that he died till January 26 before I followed another leader. I mourned him. Many people were calling me, Oyi, come and join us, Oyi this, Oyi that. I said, no, this man must be mourned 6 good months before I talk of anything politics again. And that was why I waited till January 26th. That was when I now called Okachukwu and said, Oga, I have seen another so-called or a little inch of Ifeanyi in you. Oga will follow you. And that was that. Okachukwu was one man who, when Ifeanyi was running for election, he had an agreement with Ifeanyi that he will not run against him again in any election. And that was why Okachukwu did not run for a governorship when Ifeanyi was running. It was after his death that Okachukwu now started running, because he promised him he will not challenge him. This is a man who has some of the similarities of Ifeanyi, a philanthropist, a man who has the heart of gold, a man who is equally courageous, smart, intelligent, visionary. That is why when I look at some of the things in his manifestos, area of industrialization, making Anambra an industrial hub, I know that Okachukwu has seen it all and will deliver when he becomes governor. So I wouldn't accept it that those people left because they didn't believe in Okachukwu or whatever. Because, see, Ifeanyi was an APC member. He died an APC member. So why would you leave APC even if you don't want to support whoever that will emerge. Remember that Okachukwu has not even emerged when most of them left. So it's not a question of they don't want Okachukwu or whatever, because Okachukwu came late before most of them left Ifeanyi Ubah's camp. That is to tell you they are behaving like people who are inconsistent in character. I will not call them hungry people, but inconsistent in character, because all of us are hungry people. Thank you.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back from this break, we'll get to allow him spill it more, and then we'll call it a wrap. We'll be right back.
This is a special public service announcement.
Welcome back to the program. This is Spill It, in case you are just joining us, and it's been a heated session with Okoye of Dr. Francis. It's been powerful. Some very critical revelations. We get to also have him speak to us a little bit more. Before I come to ask you, Okoye of what your principal would do differently in Anambra State, funding Anambra, and funding Anambra name business. What do you think should be the critical virtues to look out for a leader as it concerns political governance or anything governance? What should be the critical virtues to look out? Because none of them matter to election now. So what should be the virtues to look out in a person to say no Nyanka Kwesirebo our governor?
First of all, you look at the character of think home philosophy. Anambra is a state that usually answer home for all and now light of the nation. We are known for industry in Anambra State. A typical Anambrarian, no matter how educated, how enlightened, how learned, well-traveled he is, will always think home, will always want to come back and invest at home. If there is no other investment an Anambrarian will make, he will make an investment of having a residential house in his village. That is one thing an Anambrarian is known for. You may have all the duplexes, all the skyscrapers in Obodo Oyibo and in Lagos, Abuja, Aba, or Kano, Kaduna, but if you don't have anyone in your village, they will still be looking at you as an Akalaweri, someone who has not really achieved anything. Exactly. So that is what a typical Anambrarian is known for. So having been known for that, we expect anybody who wants to be our governor, for instance, to have that character of thinking home. One, you should be one who, if we ask you, you will show us one or two industries you have already set up in Anambra State. You should be one if we ask you, you show us one or two roads you've done in your community, at least from your community for a start. You should be one who, if we ask you, you show us 2 or 3 widows you have empowered, 1 or 2 schools you have helped rehabilitate or set up, 2, 3, or 10 people you have given employment using your contacts. These are some of the things you as a leader should be pointing at. If we say saying, look at my antecedents, look at what I have achieved. If elected governor, I will do more using state apparatus. These are things we should be looking at for in a leader. And when you say all the people running for governorship, let me use Val Ojibo, for instance. Val Ojibo, when he was Transcorp MD, we know 1 or 2 people he employed. I want to use APC people as an example. Look at John Bosco Onumpo. We know people he has empowered. He's the youth leader, Anambra youth leader. We call him youth marshal in Anambra State. I'm telling you about people who ran the ticket with my organ before I talk about my organ, Nicholas Okachukwu. Look at MP Chukwuma Umoji. Umoji, we know him as someone who anytime you call him, you answer phone. He's someone who always loves the progress of the youth. He has investments in Anambra State. Onumpo has investment in Anambra State. Then other aspirants, is it the man from United Nigeria, Professor Obiora Okonkwo, who we know has employed many Anambrarians, some of our fellow Anambra media warriors, even in his company. In fact, the person manning his media relations, Uloka, happens to be one of us. So if you could power Uloka to that level, that means he thinks home. Is it now Nicholas Okachukwu, our candidate? Why I gave you this background is to tell you the quality of people in APC that ran this ticket with my boss before he emerged winner. Before I will not talk of Soludo. Look at Nicholas Okachukwu. Nicholas Okachukwu is a man who has set up many industries in Mpo and in Onitsha in Anambra State, employing more than 2,000 Anambrarians working in his firm. This is a man who has started more than 10 roads in Osumeni community where he comes from. This is a man who has built about 13 houses for widows. This is a man who has empowered many youths, made them millionaires and billionaires. KK, Promise, Kesiobi, name them. Many people he has empowered, made millionaires through means, giving them means of livelihood, where they earn good living, build houses for themselves, buy cars for themselves, marry wives for themselves, go to level of having PhDs, LLBs, MSc and all that. These are people who Okachukwu trend. So if Okachukwu is saying, I will be your governor, he will be saying, I have done this, exactly. I will do more, or I will do this, given the apparatus of states. I will do more. That is what Okachukwu will be telling us. Now, Soludo, prior before becoming our governor, the first one, we elected him only on the platter of becoming. Yeah, I mean, the one he is occupying now. I want to judge it from there before this one he's going for second time. Okay. That one he came out, we elected him on the altar of being a candidate from Governor Obiano, the outgoing governor. People who voted Soludo were voting him on that virtue, and the other on the ground of a former professor and the professor and the former governor of what? CBN. These are two reasons why Anambra voted for him. Not on track record of what he has done in Isuofia. In fact, where Soludo comes from in Isuofia, it is before his emergence as governor that we are even hearing there is a town called Isuofia. Meanwhile, they have somebody who was a former CBN governor. That person should have given more than 1,000 people employment in CBN. That person should have attracted CBN branch even in Isuofia, not only in Oka. Because the one in Oka was not even attracted by Soludo. So he should have gotten even a semi-CBN branch in Isuofia or in Agwata local government. But he didn't do it. Tell me any person with Soludo gave employment as CBN governor. Not one. Not one. Now tell me any industry Soludo brought in Anambra State. Not one. Statement. Not one. Now tell me people Soludo have empowered. Somebody empowered him to become CBN governor. It was Andy Oba that made him CBN governor. Who has Soludo empowered? So he didn't empower anybody. He didn't build any road. He didn't bring any infrastructure to his community because I'm using his community as an example. In fact, as a matter of fact, there is what we call Mwamba for Memorial Hospital in Isuofia. That hospital, Soludo brought his friends in when he finished as CBN governor or when he was about leaving office as CBN governor. Please, I want to give my late mother, because he is answering Challenge Mwamba because his mother sacrificed a lot for him. It was his mother that made him who he is. He sacrificed by selling Ogiri, using the money he got from Ogiri to train Soludo up to university level. So that's why Jabia Challenge Mwamba for. Soludo were a local man like me. If I'm a local man, I run a local man in the sense now, oh, Kokotoro no. Yeah. So to no before guy UNN. So me at Rafu was where she suffered to train her up to that level. Now, Soludo now said, I will give my mother a memory, a good memory, like I did for my father last year. Early this year, January 13th, in 20 years memorial of my father, where I established Okoye Memorial Foundation, where I will be using to touch lives. I'm not in government, but I've started touching lives. Even 8 years ago, I started that foundation, but I just made it formal this year. So now Soludo, in his own idea, said, I will give my mother a befitting memory. That was, I think, 2013. I can't remember the year. But what I'm saying is that very day, Soludo brought his friends, his contact as CBN governor. He can invite even the president to come. He brought many friends. They came, donated billions of naira for this man to build Mwamba for Memorial Hospital in Isuofia. Till today, that hospital has not been built. So it is just at the roofing level. Till today. Meanwhile, money donated that day should have been enough to finish that hospital. So it's the one that Anambra, other people want him to do that he will execute when he couldn't do the one, raise money for his own mother. Thank you very much.
Okay, now having established this, what do you think your principal, Prince Nicholas Okachukwu, would do differently from the Anambra?
I think Okachukwu has already said what he will do differently. He has appeared in more than 5 television stations, Arise Television, AIT, NTA, and which other one? I think channels, yes. in all these his media appearances, in some of the forums where he has had opportunity to talk to the press or talk to the people, what he will do differently. One of the things he said that marveled me or gave me joy, that this is a man I am working for, that I am proud of. One of the things that made me become more proud of him was the one he talked about on turning Anambra Forest into a viable economic sector, turning those forests where kidnappers, armed robbers have taken over from Anambra State, particularly in the south, Anambra South, turning it into a place where he calls industrial hub. When he set up a good, viable security network to tackle insecurity in Anambra State, chase all those criminals away, he will turn those forests that those criminals have taken over as we speak today, he will turn them into an industrial hub, where he will go to one gas institute plant brought by Emeka Ofo that is already existing in we don't know which community it is in that Anambra South. He will go to that gas plant, tap from that gas plant in order to set up a mini electricity generation plant that will be supplying electricity to small scale and medium industries in Anambra, so that people who are doing doing welding, people who are barbing, people who are doing all these mini things that require electricity, adequate power, will be able to tap electricity generated from that gas plant already established in that Anambra South, so that our people will see, because a typical Anambrarian doesn't need your money. All he needs is enabling environment.
Exactly.
And what are those enabling environments? Good roads, not this type Soludo is giving us, not this quack roads. Good roads, supply of electricity that is adequate, good health care, and attraction of industries. If you give us these four things, an Anambrarian will be happy for you forever. And that was what Ngige did when he was governor. He tried giving us some of these things. Ngige gave us quality road, quality healthcare as a medical doctor. And the Anambrarians rejoiced under Ngige. Peter Obi did the same thing.
But
So,
the Soludo is not believing that Peter Obi did well. Because even when the president came, he was making reference to that the last time a president came, it was to commission.
Soludo is somebody who doesn't believe that there is anybody who is better than him in this world. Soludo is doing everything in his capacity as using the instrumentality of governorship to downplay all the good things Peter Obi did. Remember, there is a video or a record that is still on internet today where the governor, I mean Soludo, has been praising Peter Obi that he will work on what Peter Obi has achieved as governor and do more. That video is still on social media. So if Governor Soludo had once held Peter Obi as a man who has done well, who he will add to what he has achieved as governor and do more, what's changed? What changed is that Peter Obi has started running for presidency. And Soludo is seeing Peter Obi as a threat in future to him. And Soludo, we know, has a presidential ambition, starting from vice presidential candidature to presidency. He has that ambition. So he believes that if Peter Obi becomes president in this world, that him, Soludo, will never achieve it. Because by the time it will come back to Igbo side again, Soludo may have owed or even he may have lost interest in politics by then. So that's why he wants everything possible to downplay Peter Obi's record. And that is to tell you the type of bitter man Soludo is.
Okay, as we begin to wrap up, let me ask this finally.
Sorry, I didn't conclude. Okay. We are talking about what my Oga will do.
Exactly.
I only hampered on one sector, which is industrialization.
Okay.
Aside industrialization, Nicholas ArinzeChukwu, the APC gubernatorial candidate of Anambra State, said he will tackle insecurity head on. How will he tackle insecurity? These are not things you discuss on the media, like I'm in the media house now. But at least he said he will give us a security that within the next 4 months in his office as governor, we all Anambrarians will be sleeping with all our eyes closed. Bringing well-trained personnel, not this type of untrained argument by extorting money from motorists. No, well-trained security people, not just well-trained security people. He will collaborate with all the security agencies in Anambra State, Army, Police, Navy, Air Force, to ensure that he gives them adequate equipment. See, it was because of our agitation on social media that made Soludo to donate for the first time mobility vehicles to police, army, and navy in Anambra State, I think 3 or 4 months ago, or thereabouts. That was because of our agitation on social media. But prior before then, Soludo in the last 3 years never thought of supporting all these people. But when Peter Obi was governor, he was doing it almost on a yearly basis, supporting these people. When Obiano was governor, he was doing the same thing. Soludo came, it took him 3 years because of our agitation to do that. So Nicholas Okachukwu will do it differently, tackling insecurity in Anambra State. Because as it is today, Anambra insecurity is still giving us sleepless nights. That
But
most of us
alleging that Soludo is doing well with respect to that.
he cannot be doing well when the people you're on the social media. You see videos every day, incidents of people from Agbene Chamber security outfit going about killing people, incidents where even on the streets of Oka, people are still being kidnapped on the streets of Nnewi, Onitsha, and yet we have such security apparatus. No. You may say it has reduced small, but as far as I'm concerned, the Anambra insecurity question is still on a high rate. Then another thing, our governor, incoming governor, Nicholas Okachukwu, Anambra APC Guba candidate, has said he will do differently, is in the area of agriculture. See, Anambra State has a very viable land for agric. Very viable. Go to Omambalazis, Ayamelum, Oyi, Anambra East, Anambra West. We have good agrarian sites there. Not only Anambra North, even Anambra South, or even Central, where I come from. But how do we tap into all these things? Government has to create an enabling environment where you can say, okay, you are giving free, not subsidized, free fertilizers to our farmers to encourage them. You make it free, not affordable or subsidized rate. You make it free. Our governor has promised that. Bring in tractors, bring in even Chinese people to come and teach us how to do modernized farming. They help us so that we can be able to not only get what we eat from Anambra soil, but have enough to export outside. These are some of the lofty things that this man has promised to tackle. I mean, Ikukuoma, because when you have tackled insecurity, tackled industrialization, industries, bring industries into Anambra State, our youth will have employment. Carefully employed, companies, foreign direct investors will start investing in Anambra State because they have seen you have given them the enabling environment. They will start coming. Anambra will now become a center of attraction of investment in sub-Saharan Africa. That is Nicholas Okachukwu for you. So he will do this and more other things he promised. This is not a time for campaign. When the campaign starts, we all will come to the media and to the grassroots at the ward level, village level, community level, LGA level, and tell Anambrarians what we'll do differently. Thank you very much.
While we wrap up, let me ask you, are there plans to synergize with candidates who also vied with him at the primary level? Because I believe that everyone has their strength and stuff. So your principal, is he making any moves to have a political marriage and understanding with those who contested with him for the tickets, the party ticket at the primaries?
If you notice when I was talking about what Soludo has not done in terms of as a private individual before becoming governor, I was telling you about Val Ojibo, telling you about China Bosco Numpo, telling you about MP Chukwu Moji, telling you about Professor Obioro Kumpo. These are people who ran the election with my boss, Prince Nicholas Okachukwu. When I was talking, was I speaking bad of them? No. So for me to have spoken good of them means that my boss, Nicholas Okachukwu, has asked me anywhere I appear on the media, I should not speak bad of them because he needs them to win the election. And in order to win the election, by saying that he needs them to win the election, he has made a very significant step in that direction. What step was that? He implored on the national chairman of our party to please set up a reconciliation committee to help him, because he can't do everything alone, to help him go around begging those who still feel aggrieved. You know, in any contest, people must feel aggrieved. Exactly. Even if the election is 100% free and fair, people must still feel aggrieved. If they don't feel aggrieved, they cannot, for any other reason, they can feel aggrieved on the point of the matter that they didn't imagine. Yeah. It is painful. Myself, when I lost House of Assembly election in 2019, I felt aggrieved. I know I lost, but within me, I felt aggrieved. but I know I lost the election. So that is to tell you that everybody who loses an election must feel bad.
Exactly.
That is just the true situation. So coming to that, the candidate has implored on the national chairman to help him set up a reconciliation committee, which the national chairman graciously did. Granted, that was last month, and Engineer John Bosco Onumpo was made the chairman of that reconciliation committee, with our new deputy governorship candidate, Senator Uche Ekwunife, PhD, as a member of the committee, Senator Stella Odua, Ambassador Dr. Elijah Onyagba, Dozier Which Tech. Yes, Which Tech, Dozier Nwankwo. Many people who are in that committee are people of Senator Majiro Kadibu, many of them. They are people of good characters, people that if you talk of APC in Anambra State, and when all of them come at you, you say, Anyi Zuru Keme, or Anyi Orezugo Kemezie. So that is what I'm saying. So if this kind of caliber of people could be members of that reconciliation committee, headed by no less a personality. Why I said no less a personality is that it is rare for someone who has run an election with a candidate to accept to lead a reconciliation team of that particular person he ran the election with. It is rare. It shows that the party has already solved half of the reconciliation moves. If one of the aspirants could accept to lead the reconciliation team. And that is why I respect Engineer John Bosco Onumpo, the youth marshal today. So the party has started that moves. And I know my principal, Nicholas Okachukwu, Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, has started making calls, reaching out to all of them to please come join him so that we will work together, have a strong, united front to face APGA. Because like I used to tell anybody who is in APC, that we have been given the flag doesn't mean we have won an election. Like my principal said today at APC stakeholders meeting that we heard like an hour ago before I came here, that we should go to the grassroots, preach APC to every commoner, every person, big or small, in Anambra, in all the 326 wards of Anambra. Preach APC to them, preach Ikukuoma Iyom ticket to them, tell them why this is the best thing that will happen to Anambra come November 8th, so that we will sack the underperforming government of Professor Charles Soludo from Agwoka for APC to take over under the leadership of Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, Ikukuoma Anambra, deputized by no less a personality than Senator Dr. Lillian Uche Ekwunife, Nwanyi Kanwoke, Nwanyi Kibia, Abara Nwanyi, one of the best tickets in any election since the history of Anambra. One of the best tickets. Okachukwu, a former local government chairman, former rep member, representing Amak in 1999 to 2003 in Abuja. Now, Senator Uche Ekwunife, former senator, former two-time rep member. Now, two of them are merging together to run for APC governorship election. This is the best combination any party can have. Okay. So we are sure we are going to win the election.
One last thing for you before we wrap it up on this program. What promise do you have on the Anambra? You know, evidentially, that the Anambra where this kind of, should I say, phobia, when we hear APC, irrespective of the individual involved, we begin to check experiences from different states and what's happening at the center, as some persons allege and stuff. So what assurance, what promise do you have from the Anambra? People believe that Apaga Bopati Ojukwu, solo Ojukwu and stuff. What would you say around that as we wrap up?
Let the Anambra not be deceived again by their so-called hatred for the party APC. We shouldn't be deceived again. Let me start from Isi Ojukwu that you just mentioned. Are you still seeing Isi Ojukwu on any abada or clothes worn by APGA people today? Yes or no? You should know. So
that's a very critical observation.
You should answer me, yes or no. This is time for me to ask you. You've been asking me. Yes or no?
I'm the host, you can't ask me.
Okay, let me tell you. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Anambra mate. On the day President came, Soludo instructed every APGA member not to wear anything APGA. He didn't even talk of Isi Ojukwu, not to wear anything APGA to that rally. Go and check that rally. The video clip or pictures of that rally. Maybe you've not been sensitive enough to check it. Go and check that rally. the day Tinubu came here to see if you will see any APGA flag or APGA cloth worn by any APGA member on that day. Which cloth did they wear? They all wore clothes with Asiwaju trademark. They all wore clothes with Isi Soludo and Isi Tinubu. This is how bad APGA has gone. They have buried APGA. This thing didn't even start with the president visit. It started long ago that APGA dished or buried Ojukwu from their picture. Not just the picture based on the clothes or abada they are wearing, the picture of all the activities, no more giving honor to Ojukwu. Yesterday was Biafran Day. Did the Anambra State government celebrate anything to give honor to our fallen heroes, starting with that Ojukwu that was the leader of all the fallen heroes as far as Igbo extraction or Igbo State or Anambra State is concerned? Did they? Nothing was done in that regard yesterday. So Ojukwu is no more in the picture of APGA. So let nobody be deceived again that this is Party Ojukwu, Nkani. Let nobody be deceived again. This is now Nkawu Nkendi Swafia. That is number one. Then number two, on the issue of people taking APC as party not performing at the national level, and therefore when you mention it, an Amberian will tell you they won't vote APC. I think it's a lie. I'm on the social media. Go to my social media page where I have almost 37,000 followers. Go there. I post APC almost every 2 or 3 hours on my page. Today I've posted APC up to 10 posts on my wall today. Today alone. Go to that my wall. None of those posts has generated less than 5,000 views. Go to view where you view how many people have visited this page or this post. Go to each of those 10 posts I've made today. Most of them who are viewing it are in Anambra. That's the number one. Then those who are dropping comments on the, I'm not saying that election is one on social media. Yeah. I'm trying to use it as an example because I want to compare it with what has been happening prior before Ikukoma's emergence. Before Ikukoma's emergence, people will say, we won't vote APC. People will say, no, Tinubu is not doing well. But today, Ikukoma and Eyom have changed the narrative. People are now thinking, Soludo is not doing well. And since APC and APGA, the only party running for this election, since we have agreed that Soludo is not doing well, the other party that is running with them is APC. Why shouldn't we vote APC? Why should you be saying because the APC is not doing well at the national level? And who even told them that APC is not doing well at the national level? I reside in Abuja. I visit Anambra on a monthly basis. I know what is happening in Abuja. The other day, May 29, 2 days ago, I went on my social media pages or wall. Both on Instagram, Facebook, I don't do Twitter these days. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. I was railing at all the achievements of the Tinubu administration. One boy came to one of the posts I made and said, Oye, this is true. Tinubu has achieved some of these things you wrote here. But we seem not to be projecting it to the media prior before now. I said, you see it. It's because anytime you see somebody post anything about Tinubu, immediately you see Tinubu's picture. You just walk away, or you just come and make comment without even reading the details to know if actually some of these things have been achieved. On a more serious note, Tinubu has achieved a lot in 2 years. We may not be feeling it now because a lot was badly done before Tinubu came into power. Badly done in the sense that our Naira fell to an all-time low. Our rating outside Nigeria was something not to write home about. Our economy was falling. Everything about Nigeria was in a mess when Buhari was about leaving office. So it took the courage of a man like Tinubu to make sure that he made some reforms that were harsh. Those reforms were harsh, but we needed such reforms because, like Tinubu used to say, we should not eat our tomorrow today and suffer it in future. That was why he made those harsh policies, like removal of fuel subsidy. After the removal of fuel subsidy, governors themselves are now telling us, not Tinubu saying it, that they now receive 4 times what they used to receive before the subsidy was removed. 4 times. So that means if a governor was receiving 4 billion before Tinubu came into office, that governor is today receiving 16 billion. 4 times. So if you have 14 billion to work with before Tinubu came on board, you now have 16 billion. Most of the governors say they no longer borrow. Like Soludo is claiming today that he has never borrowed money since he entered office. He is using it to pass MAGA. Why would you pass MAGA with it when it is Tinubu that did it for you? Because if Tinubu has not quadrupled what you are receiving as a revenue allocation since he came on board, you would have borrowed by now. So it's not only Soludo that is not borrowing. Many governors are not borrowing. Katsina governor said it. Boronu governor said it. The professor governor in Boronu. So what are you saying? What I'm telling you on this studio is that APC is doing well and we do continue to do well in the next 2 years for Tinubu to be elected or re-elected for a second term. Bringing it out to Anambra State, Nicholas ArinzeChukwu is a man who we know his true character, which I have just read out on this studio before now. Is it the deputy? A woman of substance, a woman of character, a grassroots woman. If ArinzeChukwu has done well as a private individual, managed his company, became a billionaire with good places of his earning good living in the real estate sector, rail sector, oil sector, these are places ArinzeChukwu is managing. Some of his companies, they are in the real sector, oil sector, real estate. If you come to Abuja, he's one of the leading real estate moguls in Abuja. So if he could have managed some of these private companies well, employing many Nigerians, many Anambrarians who have become billionaires through him, why can't he be able to manage Anambra State? Should we now be looking at APC as party in Daosa? It's no longer party in Daosa. APC is now party in Anambra. Anambra is APC and APC is Anambra. By November 8th, Nicholas ArinzeChukwu, before 3 p.m., would have been declared governor-elect of Anambra State, together with Senator Uche Ekwunife, deputy governor-elect. I assure you that.
Okay. It's been wonderful with Dr. Francis Dioye, and I can tell you it's been insightful, it's been interesting, it's been power-packed. And if you listen to him and feel the audacity in his voice, you will know there is heavy assurance to what he's saying. And we hope for the very best for the Anambra. We hope for the very best as well Anambra too. I hope for the very best for the Anambra. Prince Dr. Nicholas ArinzeChukwu. We wish him success. We wish all the candidates success. I would put it this way: let the perfect will of God from the Anambra be done. As a matter of fact, when he emerges, please don't forget me, like that thief on the cross.
Thank you.
Forget me not in your paradise. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My pleasure.